This new mindset is going to help you be more proactive versus reactive. Be on offense. As a professional keynote speaker, what I love doing is shifting the mindset, right? That's what keynote speakers do. It's all about creating alignment and creating a new mindset. McDonald's Corporation is an example. They had me in their headquarters in Chicago, here in the States, and they had global watch parties in India, Australia, Morocco, the UK, all across North America. They did a fantastic job in making sure that this message around inclusion was heard across the globe. I'm honored to have served as their keynote speaker, to be that voice. I share my story with hearing loss as a vessel to the message to help organizations communicate and collaborate more effectively. So when it relates to the mindset, my late grandfather, who was actually a double amputee, he taught me how to turn negatives into a positive. You know, he never took no for an answer. He did what he had to do to accommodate for himself and for others. His motto was PMA, positive mental attitude. And even before I lost my hearing around age 5, that's the attitude that I learned from him. He normalized disability in my household and in my community. And when I lost my hearing, I didn't see it as a disability. I wore hearing aids, I still wear them today, and they were similar to glasses. Glasses help you see, and hearing aids help you hear. But my grandfather had a prosthetic hook. He had a wooden leg, physical disability. And that's where you see my disability, and I air quote disability, because the word ability is in disability for a reason. We have the ability to make change, to change the mindsets, to be more positive. And my motto is called Be on Offense. It's how to create a more proactive mindset versus a reactive one. Well, when they don't take their mental health seriously, it actually costs $120,000 to replace an employee, 1 to 2 times the amount of their salary on average. And that's what we learned with a lot of the Fortune 500 global HR teams, people and culture teams, internal communication. A lot of the teams that I work with across Fortune 500 organizations, it's very expensive to replace employees. For those that feel disengaged in the workplace, or don't feel like they belong, or don't feel included, and they leave after 3-5 months of on-hand training, or maybe they've been there for years. Now we have to replace a leader, and that's not always easy. And then there's that psychological safety where your leader just left the company, and all of the managers below are saying, oh my God, he or she or they left the company. What's that say about the organization? So it all comes down to psychological safety, in my opinion. Over 70% of people perform better when their voices are heard. And for people like myself with hearing loss, it's not always easy to speak up. When you know you need help, you need an accommodation, it's not always easy to ask. And so there's a two-way street. Employers need to ask their employees, what can we provide for you? But employees need to say, this is what I'm familiar with. So that's an opportunity for innovation to introduce new accessibility service providers, new accommodations, whatever it may be. So measuring the real world, DEI efforts equates to the success of the employee. Are they being productive? Are they helping with the bottom line? Are they increasing the culture of the workplace? So that's what I get excited about, is helping people feel like they're not alone, because truly they're not. Now, there's a statistic, there are 48 million Americans affected by hearing loss, and by the year 2050, that's increasing to 74 million. Globally, in the UK, there are about 430 million Americans affected by hearing loss. That number is going up to 700 million. So we're not going anywhere. We need to help each other, right? And there's 16% of those numbers actually go out and get the help they need. So that just means 84% of people that know they need help aren't actually seeking it. That's what I help people do. Before becoming a professional keynote speaker, I worked in the commercial architecture and design world. Okay. I was helping design corporations to be more inclusive and collaborative with universal design in mind. The pandemic happened, shut everything down, went virtual overnight, right? When that happened, I shifted my industry and focused on video accessibility, technology, all things closed captioning. And that segued me into launching Here's Dustin.com. My point in sharing all of that is everybody was something before they became this. We need to use all of those skills that we have, all of those experiences, all of those relationships to bring our full selves to work, right? And that's really what allows us to be authentic, because everything in the past connects in one way, shape, or form. People move from one business to another, or, that CHRO goes to this corporation. So that was a great leader. I'm going to go to this corporation now. Bring your most authentic self from one place to the next, and that's where innovation happens. A new optimistic mindset. Be on offense. And this message came from when I was 11 years old. I was 5-6 years new into being deaf. I found myself in a massive auditorium at a college for a basketball camp, and not just any camp, but Michael Jordan's camp. I went to Michael Jordan's camp when I was 11. It was a week-long camp. We got to meet him every day. And I'll never forget, it was middle of the week. He had us in this huge auditorium for his keynote. And I thought I had a good seat before he came out on stage. I was about 30, 40 feet away. But as soon as he came out and started talking, I very quickly realized I couldn't hear him. And I just kind of sat there and pretended to hear him, because I didn't want asking for help to be a barrier to my new friendships with my teammates from all over the world. I had just made the all-star team, so I didn't want them to think any differently about me and my abilities. So I just pretended to laugh when they laughed and pretended to smile when they smiled. I was on defense. I didn't ask for the help, and I didn't bring my authentic self to that situation. And that's where I created Be on Offense. How many of us have ever felt excluded? All of us. This new mindset is going to help you be more proactive versus reactive. Be on offense.